South Africa have the best rugby team in the world. That is pretty much undeniable. South Africa also have the best rugby squad in the world. This is something we've detailed a number of times on the channel. We went over the new squad when Rassie named it and went, bloody hell, it's a pretty good team. We went a few months ago over the full depth of their squad, how deep can they possibly go, and so we had to put out a team that can compete and indeed win at the World Cup.
There's been a lot of talk about, oh yeah, this is their B team, this is their C team, this is their D team, whatever. And we've said a lot over the summer that that kind of isn't relevant anymore because Rassie Erasmus has built an empire of rugby players who can essentially just all play as the first team and all be as good as each other.
Yes. So I thought, what if we looked through the current Springbok squad, current 42-player squad, and tried to assemble from that what is the weakest possible team, with no disrespect to any of these players, that Rassie could put out? And where would they rank? How would they stand as the weakest team from his wider squad? Now, bearing in mind, there's a number of injuries, a number of players missing already from this squad, so this squad could yet be even stronger.
And that's, of course, looking at players playing in their own positions.
Yes.
Of course, the weakest you'd probably have like Vusi Moyo playing prop with Grant Williams.
Sure.
Or something like that.
Okay.
And then you'd have, you know, Jan-Hendrik Wessels playing fullback or something like that. But we're not going to do that.
Realistically, within their positional sense, right, though you mentioned Jan-Hendrik Wessels, he's actually quite a tricky one to slot in because the one position where the Springboks do kind of have a problem is hooker, where Malcolm Marx is number one by a massive margin, then Johan Grobler is number two, and frankly, the margin between Marx and Grobler is nothing compared to the one between Grobler and whoever is next, right?
Yeah.
Which is probably either Marco van Staden or Jan-Hendrik Wessels, who are both in as flankers or as props, as utility players who can then cover hooker. So who slots in a hooker?
Yeah, it's tough because Jan-Hendrik Wessels is such a good player.
Yeah.
He's really worked as a bench player in the summer. And I think what Rassie's wanted to do with him is he's named him at number 16 a couple of times, brought him on at prop and then moved him across. Like in the Scotland game, did that with Nkunu coming in at loose head for the end of the game, then moving him into hooker. So I suppose with that in mind, do you put him at hooker? Although Van Staden, I suppose, is...
You probably put Van Staden at hooker.
Yeah, because he's less experienced there as a starter, at least.
So with Van Staden at hooker, props, you've just got an absolute embarrassment of riches. Like, there is no weak choice. Right, so from your loose heads, you have, it's probably Mfumu, who's still in the squad, is the weakest scrummager, certainly.
Yeah.
And fell a couple of tackles in Scotland.
Yeah, he's weak defensively against Scotland.
So he's a brilliant ball carrier, he's a very good player, deserves the Springbok caps he's picked up.
Yeah, definitely. It's very harsh to put any player like this, but But also when you look at the competition of like who's up against,
and the point is to see how deep can they go and where would this team stand, right? So if Mfumu is a loose head, tight head, your options are Zach Porfin, Carlu Sardie, and then Wilco Low and Thomas Du Toit. I mean, they're all pretty good. Carlu Sardie has the fewest international caps, just has the one cap, but he's been so good for Bordeaux as a starting tight head.
Also, absolutely mullered Wales all day.
Yeah.
Like, he kills them at scrum time.
Zach Porfin is the weakest scrummager, but probably has more going on around the park than Sardie.
Yeah, he's a bit more mobile. He's also a lot younger. Not that really like is a thing we should take into account for this. Look, we can rule out Wilco and Du Toit, can't we? Because they're both...
They're the two best tights in the world.
Yes, they are. So... I
think I'd go Porfin probably just about.
Yeah,
it's tight.
Yeah,
it's tight.
Sardie for experience-wise, but at international level that is. But yeah, Porfin just because Sardie would probably propel that scrum forward still. Yeah. But the thing is, Portland brings a lot around the park, but other players can do that.
If we think about it as how would they fit within the Springbok system, you want your scrum to be dominant.
Yeah.
So you're picking the weakest scrummaging front row there.
Yeah.
And that is the way we approach it.
Which is still a good front row.
It's still a good in the front row, right? They're not going backwards against anybody.
No.
But they're maybe not getting the level of dominance that the others would.
Yeah.
So even if Porfin is a better player around the park, and still a very good scrummager, but than Sardie would boost to that scrum, and it would lead to the Springboks being closer to them usual selves if they could still squeeze scrum penalties all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Second row. Now, we can move a bunch of the back rows around. So, options, Ludiaka, Eben Hetzebeth, Franco Moster, Ruan Nokier, all world class. Those are specialist locks in the squad. You then have able to play there, PSF Du Toit, Ben Jason Dixon, Cameron Hanekom, Vincent Tashuka, Cobus Visa.
So what I would go with is Vincent Chachuka, as much as I think he's a brilliant player, but he's not much of a second row full time for sure. And maybe Ben Jason Dixon or Corbus Visa.
Corbus Visa and then Ben Jason Dixon, I think, sits in the back row.
Yeah, but Corbus Visa, I mean...
They're all really good players.
Yeah.
This is tricky.
Yeah.
Because your back row options then, right? Considering Evan Ruiz has been dropped. So your back row options, Paul de Villiers, who's one of the form players on the planet right now. Peter Toy, one of the best players on the planet right now. Ben Jason Dixon, who we mentioned. Cameron Hannigan, who we mentioned. Sia Kolisi, who is an all-time great. Elric Lowe, who is one of the most underrated players in the world. Tashuka, we mentioned. Marco van Staden, we mentioned. Kobus Visa. And Jasper Visa, his brother, who is one of the best number 8s out there at the moment. So, again, it's hard to select a team who are average.
Yeah. Well, we thought about Dixon there, so maybe he goes on the back row.
I think Dixon comes in at 6.
This is so harsh. He walks into most national teams.
Yeah. He would win caps for most people.
Yeah.
For anyone, yeah. Cameron Hannigan then probably comes in.
Bloody hell.
For association with Wales. Drags him down.
Yeah. His Welsh blood, therefore, it automatically means... Yeah.
We then have one of the most... I mean, it's probably got to be Elric Lowe. Because he's got less of a career, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you're then looking at, otherwise, it's Paul de Villiers or Sia Kolisi or Peter Toy. You've got to choose one of those.
No,
and
thanks.
How are you doing that?
Yeah.
So you've kind of got to go Elric Lowe?
By default, because it's none of those other three, is it? I know that there's a certain very, very small subsection of Springbok fans who are like, oh, Sia's overrated, he's just in for the captaincy. It's not true.
No.
He's still class.
And even if he was, that captaincy is worth $1 million. It's won you the World Cup twice.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Unless you put him in there and say he's not allowed to open his mouth once in the game.
Yeah.
But also he'd still be brilliant.
Yeah,
so
he'd still lead by example.
It's got to be Elric Lowe by default.
Elric Lowe by default.
No other reason.
So good. Would start again for most nations.
Because also, I think if you move Van Staden onto the back row and put in Vessels at hooker, that actually strengthens the team.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's by pure default.
Yeah. Okay.
Mental.
Herschel Yankees, scrum off, we'll move on. No, Herschel Yankees or Morne van der Berg? You've got Grant Williams and Curtis Ryan.
Let's say Herschel Yankees, I reckon.
Yeah.
But
it still feels surprising to me he is still here.
Yeah.
He's been playing at Bayonne, has been doing perfectly well for himself, was a great player a few years ago, is still perfectly decent. Morne van der Berg, I think, is a great club player. I haven't quite seen him do it for international
I'm thinking
yet, but
it takes away some cohesion if you put Yankees, who's not played for the Box in a while, at 9.
Okay.
You know, as much as he is a really great player.
Though he's still got 25 caps versus Morne van der Berg's got 6. So
yeah, true.
You kind of, how would you want to tear it up?
Yeah.
I think we'll look a bit the fly half, right? So it's got to be Vusi Moyo, I think, as your fly half. With Sasha Van Mazuli, Andre Pollard, and Manu with Bok as the other options.
Does Sasha have both of his ankles?
Ooh. I still think a hobbling Sasha would probably stand pretty.
And again, this is we're just saying because Vusi Moyo has played 3 games of professional rugby, but he looks the part.
There are another couple of options here, right? One is you put Damian Valemsa in at 10, and he is he's a phenomenal player, and he's been playing his career best rugby over the last 12 months.
Yep.
I don't like him as a fly off.
Yeah.
I don't rate him as a 10. I think he's a fullback or a centre. And he can play on the wing if you need him.
I think he's wasted as a 10.
Yeah,
sure.
I think that. I think you're kind of weakening 2 positions. Like, he will be worse than just having a proper fly half in there because he takes on too much kind of magic himself.
Oh, brilliant. We'll put Fussy in at fullback then, one of the best in the world.
Yes.
But then again, you're going to have to do something like that anyway.
Or you can put Quan Horn in a 10.
Yeah, I guess that probably is it.
But I think you probably stick Moyo at 10.
Yeah, just for the sake of an experience.
He's played 3 games professional, right?
Look, let's pretend this is ahead of the Argentina game that's coming up, right? Yeah. You could look at Vusi Moyo and go, right, we're going to send Marcus Kramer at him because he's inexperienced and he's a young kid.
Smash him all day.
Yeah.
There's some you can target him.
You could physically target him.
He's the one player in the Springbok team I look at and go, purely on inexperience, purely on that. Like, I'm sure in 3 years'
Nothing
time,
to do with his talent,
the case.
which is brilliant.
But I look at and go, if I'm an opposition coach, I'm going, that's the guy you target.
We're having to justify so much here because this is by design a negative video.
I would then go for Morne van der Berg rather than Herschel Yankees with him, because you're just taking a bit of experience away.
Yeah.
And I know he's not that much younger, Morne van der Berg, but
I suppose that's it as well. When you think about the games that Van der Berg's played well, like the Italy game in the autumn, he had Andre Pollard next to him, who was steering the ship the whole game because him and Garbisi were just it was a tennis match essentially, wasn't it? In the fog, trying to knock each other back.
So I think having two halfbacks who have less than 10 caps between them is probably the weakest way to go.
Yeah, and if you
Rather
put
than
all
the
of the
experience
pressure
players
on
win a World Cup.
Van der Berg to manage the game like that,
You put more pressure on him, put more pressure on Moyo.
Who knows?
So, okay.
Hypothetically, of course.
The centres, there just aren't many options, weirdly. Your options are Andre Pollard to play 12.
Okay.
But then Damien Diolande, world class. Andre Esterhuizen, world class. Jesse Creel, world class. Even Hooker, very close.
Very good,
Very close. And Kane Moody. So I think Kane Moody probably goes in at 13.
Yes.
Just on the strength of the URC final, where he was utter dog shit.
He was really poor in that game. And the thing is, like, he's always played well for the Box. In either position. However, that has shown, and this is me really stretching. That's shown he's physically capable of playing badly in a big game.
He had a pretty ropey game against Tonga in the World Cup.
So
he's capable of it. And I put Andre Pollard also on current form for the Bulls.
In
the end of the URC season.
Yes, okay. So we're not taking those two. We are taking URC final Andre Pollard and URC final Kane Moody.
Are both playing together in the centres.
On the level of the performances that they brought out in those games, despite both being class players. I like it.
It's harsh, but we're just judging us on the current squad, so we judge it on current form, right? On the last game they played.
Of club rugby.
Of club rugby. Yeah, they have both played pretty well for the Box since. But that's fine. Okay, then wing options, man. Curtly Aronson, brilliant. Even Hooker, Cheslin Colby, Kane Moody's in the team already. Edward van der Merwe, Apolele Farsi, or Quan Horn can play on the wing if you want.
Jeez. Right, can we skip to fullback to make this a bit easier?
So Horn goes in at fullback? I really rate him, but the other options are Farsi and Valemsa. Farsi did not have a great game against Wales.
No. Which is a shame.
High balls.
But I rate him impossibly high.
Me too.
I think he's like literally top 3.
That's what I think. It was just like top 3 is a bit high, but like he's top 10 certainly.
Like, aerially, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was the thing that felt uncharacteristic was he got caught out and dropped a few balls.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the reasoning for that, if there was one, or just like Wales kicked really well, or whatever else, or he was just off. He didn't sleep much the previous night, whatever. I don't think you can base it on that, even though we are doing that for Kane Moody and Andre Pollard.
Yes.
But I think you go Horn fullback, just
on like inexperience.
Yeah.
I think he's a brilliant player.
I really rate
him. Yeah. And we've talked him up in previous videos. Do we, just to fuck about, put Apolele Farsi on the right wing? Because he always plays, like when he plays on the wing, he plays in an 11 because he's got that massive left boot on him.
Yeah.
We put him on the right wing just to screw with him so he can hit a few out on the full.
And then do you put Damien Valemsa on the wing? Because when he played there for the Stormers, he was so ineffective. You're just like, why are you doing this? He's not getting the ball. He's not getting involved. It's not working. You're wasting him. And it'll lead to Springbok fans watching getting more frustrated, going, why is he playing on the wing?
It's very true.
I don't know if that's a part of our criteria here. But the point is, right, it's really hard. You put Creel on the wing, because he's probably too slow to play there now, but he obviously could when he was younger.
Yeah, and again, it wastes him massively.
Damien Diolande also played a bit on the wing. You could put him there.
Yeah. I think
Grant Williams also could play on the wing.
Yeah, that's a shout, actually, because he's obviously started there for the Box before. With the Valemsa thing, you're right, like, for playing there for the Stormers, you were just kind of like, you would get 30 minutes into a game and forget that he's playing, which is mad because he is literally like one of the best players on the planet, like quite inarguably. But also, if a team has got Damien Valemsa in it, they're better than the team that's not got Damien Valemsa in it.
You're right.
So I feel like we don't put him on the wing.
Do you need to put Edward van der Merwe in there?
I think you put Grant Williams there.
Okay, no, fair enough.
As much as...
With Farsi on the other wing.
Yeah, Farsi specifically on the right wing. Okay. He has to be on the right wing. Because he's a really good 11, but I've never seen him play 14.
You put Reinach on the wing. He's played little bits of that.
Is he? Yeah. I think that's a stretch.
Not really,
though.
yeah.
I think I think, you put Grant Williams on the wing, and then you can... The thing is, Farsi's still class. Like,
classy more like.
Nice. Do you just put Jesse Creel on the wing for old time's sake?
Jesse Creel, but he's got a minor injury as well.
Yeah.
And he's even slower than
he's banned from defending the 13 channel.
Yeah. He's just in the backfield all the time.
Yeah. He's sweeping. He's
played fullback.
He's
played
fullback. Grew up as a fullback.
So let's put him at fullback, put Quan Horn on the wing, and Farsi on...
Quan Horn's played on the wing professionally,
So you put, Horn and then Creel plays fullback.
That's how we do it. We get everyone playing out of position.
This is how you do it. Okay.
I think the last game I saw Jesse Creel play where I didn't think he was brilliant was as a fullback.
Yeah.
Like for the Box, like years ago, literally about a decade ago.
It's so weird to think he was a fullback once.
Yeah,
He always
yeah.
played, across the backline.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
now such a 13 where he used to be a utility back.
I started this video by saying we're not going to play players out of position. We've literally had to do that to weaken this team.
It's the only way to do it.
It's crazy.
So, the question is, how good do you think this team is? I think this team, if this was their strongest 15 and then they had weaker players underneath this, but this is the strongest team they could put out, and they put it out week on week, I still think there's a chance they win the Rugby Championship, unless the Boks are in it as well.
Yeah.
If you put this team into a series against the All Blacks would be favourites, but the Springboks would win at least one, maybe
Yes.
2 games.
I think that's a good way of looking at it because there are things that you can target in that team, even though there's a cohesive unit, would be like world class.
Yeah. And I think they would. I don't think they would beat France to win the Six Nations, but I think they would be in for a shout.
Yeah, they'd be in top half easily.
I think they'd probably be, if we allowed them to play some of their players back in their right positions, they'd probably be about as good as Argentina.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, Grant Williams as a full-time winger isn't ideal.
Yeah.
Creel as a full-time fullback isn't ideal and so on. But, yeah.
And Argentina are what, like maybe 5th or 6th best team in the world?
Yeah. But we're deliberately depowering them and stopping them from...
They are when they're not playing England or in just that July block when they're always dog shit. But on the basis of last year's form, I think Argentina were up there.
So South Africa are pretty good at rugby.
They have a really, really good team.
And we'll say that Rassie's not allowed to coach them.
No.
Jake White's coaching his team.
Jake White's coaching them. Suddenly they're just about scraping past Tonga. 9-6.